I didn't think I should come in my.
See Wilder all
Uh,
All right, I'm all set.
I can't remember the last time I saw him.
I haven't seen it for a while either.
It's been a little, not too long though.
All right, we're gonna bring this meeting to order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So, on the agenda. Let's start pulled up. We're gonna do a review of December 1st planning board minutes. Anybody read those?
Yep.
Anybody want to make a motion?
Go ahead.
No, I make a motion that we accept those
Do I have a
minutes.
second? Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? Perfect.
Great.
There is no old business.
No.
So we're gonna go in with a new business, which is an application for conditional use site plan review for marijuana use.
What's it, map 8,
Yeah.
lot 23-1, which is 434 Main Street.
Yeah.
Next door to the Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Sure. Evening, everybody. My name is Zach Brandwine. I'm the attorney for the applicant, joined here by Jacob Deku, who's one of the owners. Happy to answer any questions the planning board has. I think you've got a very thorough draft findings of fact, conclusions of law in your packet. I have no comments on that, no issues with that. Like I said, I think it's really thorough. I'll just tell you, as the findings of fact and conclusions of law in the packet state, there's not going to be any exterior construction at the building. There's no site work. There are a number of conditions in your site plan review and conditional use section of your ordinance that I just don't think are applicable. And so it was actually pretty thoroughly laid out, I think, on page 2 of the proposed findings. We asked for a waiver on some of those just because they're not applicable. There's not a real change in the intensity of use at the site from what's currently there or what has been there historically. And I'll just mention 2 other things. Number 1, we're not changing any of the exterior lighting at the site. And number 2, because this comes up sometimes, some questions about this, odor, smell. And for an adult use cannabis retail store, first of all, there really isn't any because everything has to come to the store prepackaged in sealed containers, and there's no consumption on the premises. So this is not like a odor issue that you get with a cultivation location. But obviously through the conditional use permitting process, there are standards that implicate potential smell and everything. And so, if that is ever an issue, we are responsible to comply with that. I'll just say again, I've never seen that be an issue with an adult use retail store, but sometimes questions arise about that. So I just wanted to address that right up front. Again, happy to answer any questions from the planning board. Appreciate your time tonight. And again, it's really thorough, probably the most thorough findings of fact I've ever seen. So
That's why he's here. I'm thorough. And I also will just give a little more context to the application and how this is going to work its way through the town, because in addition to the planning board's review for the land use and site plan review, the application also is going to go to the select board for their review under the marijuana. I don't remember exactly what it's called off the top of my head, but the local marijuana, got it here somewhere. Adult use marijuana licensing ordinance, because the select board are the ones that would issue a license after they do their reviews. And I included I prepared the same kind of findings of fact for them that I do for you, but for that ordinance, and I included that in the planning board packet. There are several like conditions and probably several items that potentially may come up that you want to discuss that actually the select board will probably address. That may be like firmly addressed by them, but I don't know if you have questions. We can address them. So, 'cause
Is there anything that stands out in your mind?
I don't, I think at this point, we went back a few times, I think everything. I don't think there's any issues that I had. That we needed to discuss now, there's just some, formalities going through and just determining whether or not. There's some requirements for some. That I identified as being potentially not applicable and just want to confirm that that's the case with all of you, that's up to you and.
We'll go through those.
Sure.
Surveillance, I assume you're gonna have some, I mean, a given, right?
Yeah.
Required to.
Yeah, we
Okay.
usually go a little bit above and beyond,
Good.
just for our own security.
no,
We won't
absolutely,
build
makes
every
sense.
angle and
Yep.
they'll figure anything out there.
That's good.
What are the operating hours for the,
We're looking at like probably 7 to catch the morning traffic, the fishermen and all that in the summertime, but 7 to 9, I think is what we're.
I don't
Okay.
think there's any restrictions, I don't remember seeing any restrictions on operating hours. Or even
No.
consideration about it, so.
That's 7 days a week.
Yeah, probably Sunday might be a little short.
Yeah.
it's,
The last store that moved, that was in front of us a while back, not that long
The
ago.
one that moved above and beyond?
Yeah, had an issue with the smell and odor of marijuana. And they were happy to move, really,
They were
because,
medical. They
Yeah.
were,
yeah,
so, we won't be.
well, that, I mean,
Yeah, so I mean, we won't have any of those issues, like he stated, like everything is packaged, like if you walk into the store. Unless somebody is consuming cannabis in the store, which is completely illegal, you will not smell it. So it's,
Medical, not everything needs to be packaged at the store, you can package things at the store. Adult use, everything has to be packaged by the time it gets to the store, so there's no open products in the store at all.
that is the biggest thing is you're serving it out of a bag.
It's sealed.
Versus medical.
Yeah,
And Mike, where ordinance is 2, and this is the second of the two.
It allows for 2 adult use and 2 medical, and we have 2 medical currently and 1 adult use,
Correct.
this will be the second adult use.
okay,
And I checked just to make sure it was far enough away from schools and anything else that,
What's the distance on that?
I think there were, what it's required, I think is 1,000.
I thought 1,500, but they're still back 1,500 feet.
I think that's, yeah,
oh, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from
Yeah,
a
it's a pretty
planning,
good dead zone right there where it is between, I think there's the bank across the street and then. I got handcuffed.
yeah, and then I also looked at, on Jackie's Way, there's a daycare kind of behind,
Yeah. Behind Hager's.
yeah, kind of behind Hager's office and they're outside of that too, so.
Mhm.
Did I say? Oh, no, okay. Well, we can go through all of this and I can start with the stuff that I identified as potentially not applicable for this application. One is letters from the appropriate state authorities attesting to the project's impact on historic, archaeological, and rare and endangered plant or animal species. The site is,
right,
they're not, nothing's changing and it was already there. Identification of items listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Nothing on the site. A phosphorus impact report. This is gonna be tied into the sanitary sewer. The property already is tied into the sanitary sewers. Also, this is not within the watershed of a Great Pond. A site plan. We don't have a site plan. Nothing's changing, like we
Right.
said. So that one maybe.
I do have a building layout that I can give you
I
guys.
think,
Should be part of
I
it.
think it is in the app.
Okay.
Yep.
yeah, it's just like the parking and everything. Lighting, that stuff was not changed, so. Stormwater management plan, again, it's all existing.
is the existing lighting, within our
The,
code?
so I don't know what there's 2 things. One, our ordinance clearly says you don't have to have lighting.
Right,
So there's that. So if there's any dark spots, I guess the ordinance is fine with that. If there's anything that's too bright, the approach that I take is basically that it's probably a legally existing nonconformity, that it was approved. We're working on keeping better records, something that I'm working on in the office, but looking at kind of past reviews for that site, I didn't find anything that
Yeah.
would indicate one way or the other, so.
And I think our view of the lighting at the site, the existing lighting at the site is that it's sufficient for compliance with the Maine Office of Cannabis Policies.
Okay,
Security requirements for us. And so there's no need for us to submit a revised lighting plan to increase the lighting or anything like that. So if there's no light pollution or impact on neighboring properties with the existing, again, there's no change in the use of the
Yeah.
site, the exterior of the site.
I just don't know, I mean, there's a bunch of businesses there, I don't know, does the Dunkin' Donuts have lights on all night? I don't know.
Yeah, and it looks like they,
So, yeah,
they've added in their pole lights, there's two actual, pole lights that are 25 feet up that illuminate the whole back of that area. And there's one exterior light on the back of the building too, so I was just drove through tonight just to kind of get that perspective
Yeah,
of how much light is there, and it's enough so that the cameras will not need to use night vision.
Okay.
So we'll just be able to capture normal.
all right,
yeah. That comes up not just with this application, but on other applications where I don't have a clear record of what was approved, if there was an approval for things, so. Going forward, we're making sure that we document stuff, as you can see with the findings, but so it kind of depends.
Yeah,
as to
we
what
just
kind
have-
of
we
information
just
the
have-
board wants.
problem with light pollution in
Mhm.
this town,
Yeah,
butting up against the residential
Mhm.
area. And
I would agree.
a lot of businesses just have their lights on all the time, don't turn them off like you're supposed to. We always put in the applications, you're supposed to turn off light,
Yeah.
but
yeah. After,
9:30 or 10.
after business hours,
Yeah.
really, so, which I think most businesses do turn them down. Like, you can tell that Dunkin' Donuts isn't open at midnight, but whether it's.
And it looks like a pretty sharp cutoff there. I don't know where the property line is, but the lights up there look like that they don't go on to the other property from being up there after dark. But
Yeah.
A lot of screening around that, but with
Yeah.
and Phil, a lot of
Yeah.
trees around it.
They are shaded lights at that location.
Right, that's, and this property does, I believe, go all the way back to, Church Street there.
It does.
But the pavement, I mean, you wouldn't know it when you just look at it, because the pavement doesn't go all the way back that way, so. Okay, so, stormwater management plan, erosion and sediment control plan, because again, not building anything. Soil test pit log for subsurface wastewater is gonna be tied into the sewer. An estimate for the amount of domestic water required. That was something I was wondering about. You're not doing any cultivation or anything, right?
No, we might add a fish tank in the future.
Yeah, so it's maybe
So it's literally.
kind of typical,
That
retail.
retail.
Okay, all right, so I said that was potentially, not
not
applicable.
relevant.
So there's an estimate amount of water, a plan for supplying water for fire protection. I noted in here, the parcel is located across the street from a fire hydrant. It's about 45 feet away, which is basically right there,
Yep.
so. A scenic assessment and landscaping plan, demonstration of financial and technical capacity to complete the project. Location of any floodplains, on the project parcel. And actually, I did look to check and see there aren't any floodplains on this parcel. Castner Creek is surprisingly close, the shoreland zone there, closer to this than I realized, but it's not on the site, so I wouldn't think it would be applicable. But, so that is the list of everything that I have as potentially not applicable, if you all agree.
But I have a question of parking. What does this generate compared to the other businesses that are there that generated? How many spaces are there? They are similar to what we just went through at the Y.
I think that is a good question. Do not believe, let me see, it should be in here. One standards.
I think most of the park.
And I get this is coming and going, right? This is
Yeah,
not.
so it should be in and out and, mobile orders too, so it's easy to order ahead of time and make it faster for that space not being taken up. But, we'll get in the habit of, having good directions for the customers to park out back, because there's.
Right, but I think our issue is we have to take in consideration now 3 businesses there of how many parking spaces are on the footprint versus how many are supposed to be for the businesses and types that we have, I think is the bigger question.
And so in page 5 of our application, we included it's the Institute of like Professional, Institute of Professional Transportation Engineers. They have a standard expected per hour, per day trip rate for an adult use cannabis retail facility. And that expected trip rate is like less than a gas station. And I think if you look at that, it's 100 to 120 trips per day max. That's the maximum peak. And at peak hours, it's no more than 20 per hour. And so we expect that to be less than the current use and definitely less than, like I said, a convenience store or a gas station.
But again, we have to take into account all three of those businesses there. And my understanding is the pub, none of those parking spots over there are included in
No,
anything that you
exactly.
can park.
Yeah.
You have, what, 2 or 3 out front and
It looks like
maybe
2 or 3 out front.
6 or 8 out
6 or 8
back
out back.
possibly?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in my head too, yeah. So a maximum of 10 to 12, you know, and then honestly, we wouldn't want more than 5 or 6 people in the store at a time. And for the floor space that we have, so up to 8 to, 12, but.
So the site plan review does not have a standard, like a defined standard for a marijuana retail store, though it is occurring to me. Let me go check and see what it just says for retail.
Yeah, I will say, I think you're in the portion, the site plan portion of your ordinance, I think it's. So we've got just over 1,100 square feet at the location, and for an 1,100 square foot like retail location, I think it's 4 parking spaces required. And so I do think we exceed that. And again, if you take the estimate from the secondary source of like 20 peak hour trips, then like, again, we should have like sufficient capacity for that.
Yeah. Just looking for.
I think it's section 102.6. I'm not sure what the page number is, but it's similar site plan review ordinance.
Yep, yeah. Let me just pull that up.
H7H.
Here, okay, so as far as retail stores, it's supposed to be 4 per 1,000 square feet. How big was the
Just over
Space.
1,100.
1,100?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd need, even if you needed 5, and do you have parking spaces included with the lease for the
Yes.
condo?
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can pull it up right now.
I know it's the 3 out front, but I'm not sure how many are reserved out back for that half of the business.
So the 3 up front are designated to your store?
Yeah, I believe that and the. Might be 2 out of the 3. It's kind of and that weird getting there, I see people jump that all the time, like that, yeah, kind of needs to be reworked to begin with.
Yeah, so I got retail store at 4,000, but it also says other uses sufficient spaces to accommodate the normal parking demand as determined by the planning board.
Yeah, and so all of the spaces that are available to Dunkin' Donuts are also available to us at that location. There are 2, I think, in the back that are specifically reserved for us in addition to the ones in the front. But all the other Dunkin' Donuts locations, single parking spots are also available.
So everything on the left-hand side of the penalty box for parking spaces is available for both use.
Would you say you was 1,100 square feet?
Yeah.
So Duncan's gotta be, again, that size.
That I don't know, but
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how many they would need, right? So.
yeah, if
8
you're saying there
so
should
you're
be.
Talking 12,
4.
13-ish.
Are they drive-through only though? That's.
No.
No,
You can do both.
but they do a pretty brisk drive-through business, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know how many are there.
That I don't know. I mean, we can probably try and count from Google Earth. You don't know, do you, Reed? Reed's on, by the way. Oh, you can see him up there.
Yeah, hi. Well, I just, like you said, I'm just pulling it up on Google Earth right now, and I only see two outside where the current insurance agency is, and then one handicap spot if we're talking fully left of the drive-through lane. But then looks like some on the side and the rear.
Yeah. Right.
13, I think,
So you're counting,
on Google Earth.
yeah,
13, 14, somewhere around there, which if that's the case, if they both did, if he needed 4 and they needed 8, say if you doubled the size of that, that's the
Right.
12. And that doesn't count the ones out front, so it's probably
it's
probably right
probably
there.
exceeds that 12. that
I've
you
got
might
it
need.
pulled up here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
That's the ones out front too, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's some parking off to the left-hand side that I did not count those. I think that's where like people who work at the pub and shit park. So there's 18 spaces in there, and that's a fair amount.
So between the two, it's probably an adequate number of.
I
would
think
say-
that would be my feeling.
That's what it sounds like as far as
Yep.
what kind of
Yeah, I mean,
turnover you're
us,
expecting.
just like Dunkin' Donuts, we're just trying to keep people moving
Right.
there as much as possible too, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I did have one question. So, just to clarify, this is the same property as, the pub that's there, a Penalty Box, correct? And then this side of the property is kind of condoized. Is that how that works? Or is this a separate?
I don't know what the legal division of the parcel is,
Okay.
but I believe it is the same, it's the same map lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's, okay,
Yes.
that's what I think that's what I had it as, although, like on our map, it looks like it's the same lot, but then there's a separate. Like the building is, this building is kind of separate from,
Yeah.
which I imagine is just done for,
Purposes of renting it out.
Yeah.
Legal, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Okay, anything else?
I was a little concerned about traffic, but I think, doesn't sound like you're gonna increase things. on that.
No, and like Jake mentioned too, I'm just gonna try to keep the flow going through anyways, is the goal.
Sometimes the line for Dunkin' Donuts comes right out on,
Yeah.
The Dunkin' Donuts problem.
well, but you can't get through to the back, so.
I'd like to have that.
Yeah, that Dunkin'
Yeah,
Donuts.
well,
That's, and that might be partially addressed when the town and the state are reviewing that whole corridor to see curb cuts, you know, the whole thing, basically from Bristol Road to Route 1. So, but yeah, I mean, I know Dunkin' Donuts does create a little bit of a parade there
Yeah, we've seen
on the
it.
way to work and,
In the summer
Which-
in particular.
yeah, oh yeah, so. Any other?
But I don't think that they're gonna add to it to any great degree.
No, I mean, I wouldn't.
We had a previous business in there too, so.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That was on a regular schedule basis, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Done.
What was in?
The addresses,
Insurance,
Yeah, salon, I think, and then insurance after, based on what we saw for renovations and we started ours.
So, we can come back to this, but if there's no other like findings or issues that you all have identified, I think it was just required, well, there's two conditions that seem to make sense to me. If you all, we get to the point where you're inclined to approve this. One one condition is that all outdoor storage shall be neat and orderly and screened from view from residential district. Lots by a fence, wall, or plantings. My guess is you're probably not storing anything outside.
No, if anything, we just need to have access to the dumpsters, that's it.
Yeah, and that's, even the dumpster's not outdoor storage, so. That was just something that it's a standard that like needs to be met, so I said, condition of approval. And then the operator of the adult use marijuana retail store shall maintain a valid license for an adult use marijuana retail store issued by the town of Damascotta.
If we don't have one, we're in far greater trouble than just with you all.
Yeah, that's, I kind of figured, but I figured those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's
But
better.
it's just not, it's not there.
That's right, that's right.
Perfectly fair.
So, I figured you wouldn't have any issue with those. So, but that's, other than that, that's kind of my review. Yeah, they went through the process. I think there's a public hearing for the license at the select board. But yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts, concerns?
I don't have any other thoughts or concerns.
Would you like to vote on whether or not the items that I identified as not being applicable are not applicable?
Okay.
We can do that.
First thing.
Do I have a motion? The items that are not applicable are not applicable.
Make a motion.
I can't make one.
You can, but you're not coughing.
Well,
Okay, I
I've been
can make a
packing that
motion
2.5,
that
3 weeks.
all the items that have been designated as not applicable.
It's potentially not applicable, but yeah,
You know,
in the findings
potentially
of fact
not applicable,
are not applicable.
are not applicable. Right.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? All those opposed?
Okay.
And then do we make a motion on the conditions?
Well, I think the
Or-
next thing might be down there. Find and I don't have this in here, but find the application to be complete then.
I would say.
Okay, I make a motion that the application is complete.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? All those opposed?
Did you get those motions and? Okay, great. All right, so the application is complete. I've got two conclusions of law, and it is essentially that the application is consistent with the land use ordinance and the site plan review ordinance. You can do them separately, or you could.
Let's,
Do them
I
together.
make a motion that we accept the conclusions of law as
Oh.
written.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a good point. You want to adopt the findings of fact and conclusions of law
Yeah,
as, I guess, as amended, because there were a couple minor changes, but.
Yeah, go for that. Go for that one, Jay.
Adopt the findings of fact and the conclusions of law as amended.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Okay,
All those
move
opposed?
this along.
Okay. And the last thing is just the decision to
Okay,
approve with, and I'm happy to read those conditions again, but if you're good with it.
Think it's necessary.
Yeah, I figured not. Yeah, if you want to approve with conditions.
you wanna make a move?
Okay,
Make a
let's
motion.
make a motion, I make a motion to approve this application with conditions of approval, right,
Yeah, that we
Good.
discussed
that we've discussed.
earlier.
A
Okay,
second,
Second.
all those in favor? All those opposed? Okay,
okay,
Well,
Thank you very much for your time and attention to this tonight. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Y'all have a very thorough town planner.
yes, we do.
Yeah, which is not always the case.
No,
So that's
I'm,
good.
I'm telling you, I'm pretty impressed with some of the stuff he spits out.
okay. Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time,
Thank you.
Frank.
Just one question. Can you just reintroduce yourself? If we got that on camera, especially both of you.
I'm Zach Brainwine. I'm counsel for the applicant.
Jacob Dacoop, owner, Blue Sky.
Great.
And Jake Wisdom, CTO and COO.
Okay, great,
okay.
cool. Just wanted it for the record. So, thanks.
I know you don't have a lot left on your agenda, but we'll get out of your hair. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
There There's no other business on this. There were a couple things I wanted to mention. Oh, today we got I was forwarded an email actually by another one of that applicant's consultants that they received a spam email basically that was pretending actually to come from you.
Really?
Yes, it was, I can share it with you. It was fairly convincing, except that I know that it did not come from the town. Came from like a planning at .damascotta@usa.com or something.
Yeah.
It was not our domain. But we forwarded it, I shared it with Andy and we forwarded it to the IT. And they basically were like, didn't come from us, didn't impact us at all, or no viruses or anything, at least that we know about yet. But it was basically saying the applicant hasn't paid their application fee yet, and they need to, there was an invoice attached. I imagine there was a link to it. I didn't open it up.
I'm sure there was.
For it to be paid. So I mentioned that partially for all of you, and also just for anybody who's paying attention and out there, that you can come here and pay. Don't trust, there's scam emails out there. This one did include, I will tell you, it included all of the applications, like map and lot. It clearly used AI to scrub possibly the email that I sent out to all of you, probably some information from the website because it got your name. I didn't include your name in the body of my email or anything. So, so it was,
So it's a way of trying to get people to send money.
This
Sent
stuff
to them.
goes on all the time.
yes, it was sent to them.
To them saying that they needed to pay that and probably
Yes.
gave them the magic link, right?
Right, exactly. And so they forwarded it to
don't
us,
pay.
but
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
And they had already paid their application fee here.
they did. They paid the application fee. There's still a license fee that if they get a license,
It's
they have to pay.
everybody's
but-
cell phone been bouncing off the wall like mine, oh my god, I'm telling you.
So,
So I just want to make sure, Leslie, do you take electronic payments here?
Yeah, but it's a site.
Okay.
It's through our website, if you
Yeah.
go to it for it.
Yeah, okay.
We do.
And we're not sending invoices out to people. So just
maybe.
double check, and if you're
we have
concerned.
a Town newsletter,
Well,
in theory.
In
I
theory
mean,
there was, yeah.
I'm not on it,
yeah,
even though I
I
tried.
don't think there's one
Actually,
that's
it's
going
great,
out. but-
Andy put stuff out, like if something's happening in
Oh, yeah.
town, you can get the email and all that stuff.
However, I'm not on the list. I keep trying to be on the list, but I'm not. But anyways, that's my own pet peeve. We should put something in that newsletter saying that don't pay, be aware that there's some scam going on and the town will not ask you,
Send you. an-
Yeah, I
send you
mean,
an invoice.
right, we're not sending you an invoice.
Electronic payment.
Yeah. So, and I guess it's just with everything now, just be careful if someone is using AI to do it. Also, I would say you're not gonna receive any invoices from members of the planning board. So that should be your first.
Well, you don't know, Jonathan may be running the side business.
Yeah,
He did say.
Buddy, I'm not that smart.
at least
I'll
not
say
for
that.
potential.
You have one of five that can get into the computer, sir.
Well, I'm into it, but
I believe that's it.
Okay.
All that I can think of. Oh, actually, we've got the select board, or not, sorry, maybe refocus here. The comprehensive plan implementation committee we're gonna be scheduling a meeting for that. I believe that we discussed this and that Jenny volunteered to be the designee from the planning board. When we're looping people in, I just wanted to make sure, since I've got you here, that's still the case?
But
Do you
me,
still want to do it?
I do, but I haven't heard anything.
It's coming soon,
Okay.
so.
I sort of, okay.
We did get, we got members for the core implementation committee. The select board did appoint those. And I'm rounding up. I figured between Christmas and New Year's, probably not the best time so I'm gonna try and get a meeting together before the end of January, and I'll make sure I loop
All right,
the planning board designee in, so.
okay.
do you have that Gmail? My Gmail, not.
Your email address,
My Gmail, the Gmail one,
the one that
this one.
your password?
No,
oh,
that should be the
no.
It
Gmail.
would be on the sticky.
No,
So how is it,
this,
what
I
is
don't have
our
this password.
email address?
Is that
It
the
should be your
password or is
first
that
and
my
last
actual
name.
address?
No, this is gonna be,
Dot me.
this is gonna be your email address.
My Gmail address?
Yeah, your
And that
Gmail
comes
address,
from
but this
the
is
Put that
gonna
in
be,
there, so I'm actually, I've got my
Okay.
Gmail pulled up.
Yeah. yes,
Yeah,
I
okay.
haven't sent anything to it yet, so.
Okay. Will you send me a text,
I'll
sometime when
probably
you, you know,
Uh,
just send me a text.
Once I
Whatever
send
you
you,
do.
however you're really put together.
Just so I know that it's working.
Oh, yeah.
Get this.
Give me something to look at.
Send me back saying, yeah, of course.
I mean, you don't have to right now or anything like that.
Down for this, if don't know where to start.
Because they have.
Oh, yeah, I'm proficient in this, at least know what.
Yeah, and that's so that obviously you all have gotten new computers for the planning board, and I know we're troubleshooting. I think Leslie got all the information for people who haven't been able to get in. And I will send there probably are no, maybe there's like 2 emails in there, and it's probably welcome emails. I will send a test email once you get in.
Yeah, they're
You-
from Gmail support team
Yeah.
and, something else, another Gmail.
Probably, yeah, it's probably like the setup initially.
Yeah,
So I will send that to you.
Set up, but my question was, do I have to reset that up? Because there is a thing up on the corner that says,
Probably wants you to. I
You
bet,
probably
I
should
bet,
change your password.
yeah,
I may
You probably should reset your password.
reset my password.
Yeah.
Alright,
But
I
then
will,
remember it, because we're not gonna have it.
yeah.
oh,
If you change your
yeah.
password, we're not gonna have it. You'll have the ones that we send you,
Uh-huh.
but if you change it and you don't tell us.
Well, I'm not gonna change it if I don't have to, unless something really weird goes
I
on.
haven't changed mine. I have the same one I got a year ago.
Yeah,
It's like
Say
this
that.
long. No, it's this long. It's 72 numbers.
yeah, I know, well, this one is too. This
Okay,
is
can
a-
I make a motion that we close this meeting?
You're in a hurry?
I have stuff for you to sign.
I want to make.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
All those in favor? All those opposed? There you go. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Stuff.
Yes.
Stuff.
There are, Siri,